When he stands before you, there may be silence at first. Not because there's nothing to say, but because the weight of the moment will speak louder than words. It will be a stillness filled with everything he's held back. Apologies unspoken, truths buried, and emotions finally ready to rise. In that stillness, don't rush. Let it breathe. Let the meaning settle in before either of you attempts to shape it into sentences. Your heart may race, not out of fear, but recognition. This is not just someone from your past. It's a presence that still echoes inside you. You might not recognize his expression right away. Life has changed both of you. But look beyond his face. Watch for the way his spirit reaches for yours, the way his eyes search your face, not for blame, but for grace. You may be tempted to guard yourself, to shield your emotions in the name of strength. But in this moment, softness is not weakness. Let your heart be honest. Let your soul be present. You don't need to perform, impress, or overthink. All that's required is presence, the courage to be in the moment fully without editing yourself for comfort or fear. By giving through super thanks, you're answering someone's prayer. Your donation helps provide for those in need, reflecting God's generosity. He will likely stumble over some of his words. That's not a sign of insincerity, but proof of how much this matters to him. There will be phrases he rehearsed that suddenly feel too small, too fragile. Don't focus on his delivery. Listen instead to what lives behind the words. Listen to the intention, the vulnerability, the trembling truth that he didn't have the strength to share until now. At some point, emotions might rise to the surface, yours, his, or both. That's okay. There is no script for healing. Let whatever needs to rise, rise. Let the tears come if they do. Let laughter interrupt the tension if it appears. The more honest the moment is, the more space it creates for something real to take root. You don't need to manage the mood. Just let it unfold. He may offer something, an object, a memory, a gesture. It might seem small or unexpected. Don't judge it by appearance. Look at what it represents. An effort to reconnect, to give form to something that once went unspoken. The value is not in the thing itself, but in the journey it took him to bring it to you. And in your hands it becomes sacred. You might not fully understand everything he shares. That's all right. Some meanings will only become clear over time, but in that moment, trust your spirit. Trust the quiet knowing within you that has always been sensitive to deeper truths. You don't have to analyze, just receive. Let your heart recognize what your mind can't yet explain. If you're thankful for God's blessings, express it by sending a super thanks. Gratitude grows when we give and share with others. And when the conversation fades into another silence, let that be part of the moment too. Sometimes the most profound understanding arrives not through words, but in the space between them. The pause, the breath, the stillness, they carry messages too. Let your spirit speak where language falls short. Let your presence say, I'm listening, I see you, I'm here. You've waited for clarity and this is it. Not wrapped in perfect timing or flawless words, but unfolding in realness. This is what divine timing often looks like. Ordinary moments transformed by extraordinary presence. What happens between you and him now will leave a mark, whether or not it leads to a new chapter. And that mark will matter. You are not being asked to forget, to erase, or to rush. You're simply being asked to be open, to let this moment come to you without fear. The healing begins when both hearts are present without hiding. Let it be what it is. Don't shape it into what you expected. Let it teach you something new about love, about grace, and about yourself. When you give through super thanks, you're sowing seeds of faith. God rewards those who give cheerfully and trust in Him. He's not arriving as the answer to all your questions. He's arriving as part of the unfolding, a reflection of growth for both of you. Even in His flaws, there is something sacred about His return. He's not here to fix everything. He's here because something in him finally said, I have to face what I couldn't before. And that alone is a holy beginning. No matter how the moment ends, know this: you are not alone in it. There is a divine presence holding the space between you, guiding the emotions, and surrounding the conversation with light. You've been prepared for this, not to change who you are, but to step into a moment that was always meant for you. Let it unfold. Let it be what it needs to be. And trust deeply that you are safe, you are seen, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. He's been living with questions that never left him, thoughts that returned in the quiet hours, and feelings he tried to deny. There were days he almost convinced himself he had moved on. But every time he tried to settle into the life he built without you, something felt off. It wasn't regret alone. It was the unshakable sense that something important remained unfinished. Even when he smiled for others, even when he filled his time with distractions, your presence lingered. You became a part of the background rhythm of his heart, not loud, but undeniable. And while he didn't talk about it, he carried you quietly in his spirit. There were reminders he never threw away, moments he never told anyone about, like how your name would come to mind when he wasn't even thinking about love. When we go live, use Super Chat and stickers to support and engage with the message. Every contribution makes it possible to continue spreading God's word. He started noticing how nothing seemed quite right anymore. Conversations felt shallow. Places he once enjoyed lost their charm. He realized he had built walls not to keep you out, but to stop himself from remembering too deeply. But memories don't obey walls, and emotions don't follow logic. He was haunted, not by pain, but by what felt unresolved. And it was in that restlessness that God began to stir him. He didn't come to this realization all at once. It was a slow undoing, a quiet conviction growing louder over time. Every step away from you seemed to bring him closer to a deeper understanding. He began to see where he had let fear lead him. He began to understand the weight of his silence. And more than anything, he began to feel the ache of knowing he still cared. This wasn't just about longing. It became about responsibility. He realized he had something to say, not just for you, but for himself. He needed to speak it aloud. The truth he had buried was beginning to rise, and it could no longer stay hidden. He knew that staying silent would only deepen the distance, and the time had come to face what he once ran from. Through your Super Thanks donations, we can help the poor and bring comfort to those in need. Let your kindness be a reflection of God's endless love. He is not coming to impress you. He's not bringing polished words or perfectly planned gestures. What he carries is heavier than that. It's truth, raw, imperfect, and shaped by nights of quiet conviction. He has rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, and still, he knows it may not go as planned. But he's no longer waiting for the perfect moment. He's choosing to show up anyway, and you may see him hesitate. You may see the nervousness in his eyes, the uncertainty in his hands. That doesn't mean he's unsure of what he feels. It means he's finally brave enough to let himself be vulnerable. He's not asking to erase the past. He's asking to acknowledge it, because in that acknowledgement, there is power, and in that power, there is healing. There's something in you that he couldn't forget. Not just your face or your voice, but your spirit. You saw him in a way others didn't. You understood the layers he tried to hide. That kind of connection doesn't fade with time. It deepens in the silence. And now, he's coming back because the silence has said enough. The time for speaking has come. Join our live streams and send super chats and stickers to support this ministry. Every contribution goes toward spreading faith and touching lives. He isn't coming with all the answers. He still carries questions. But he comes with a heart that's finally ready to be honest. Not because he's figured everything out, but because he knows that truth is the only bridge strong enough to reconnect two hearts that once knew each other deeply. And that bridge must be built with realness, not perfection. He brings with him more than words. He brings moments he never shared. Nights he replayed your last conversation. Times he almost reached out but couldn't find the strength. Things he kept tucked away because he didn't know how you'd respond. And now, he's willing to risk all of that for the chance to finally say what he's held inside. You may find yourself surprised by what he reveals. It might not come out smoothly. He may stop mid-sentence or struggle to find the right language. But if you listen closely, you'll hear more than just his words. You'll hear his sincerity. You'll feel the weight of everything he's tried to carry alone. And in that honesty, something long awaited begins to unfold. This moment isn't about the past alone. It's about the sacred opening of hearts that have something left to say. Whether it leads to reconciliation, closure, or something yet unnamed, it will matter. Because he's not coming with casual intent. He's coming because he still believes in the significance of what you once shared. And because something divine is drawing him toward what might be possible still. Take a deep breath. What you're feeling right now, the stirring, the stillness, the unease, is no accident. It's a sacred pause before something significant. You've been in a long season of asking, searching, and trying to hold on to hope. You didn't come here by coincidence. This moment, this message has been carefully placed in your path for a reason. There's a shift about to happen. Not dramatic at first, not loud or flashy, but meaningful. It's the kind of shift that only makes sense after it's already passed, and you look back to realize that God was preparing you all along. You've been longing for clarity, something real to anchor your heart, something that gives shape to all the loose ends and unanswered prayers. This is the beginning of that clarity. You've been walking in circles, questioning yourself, questioning the signs, wondering if maybe you misunderstood. You've been exhausted from overthinking, tired from trying to interpret silence, worn down by waiting. But the waiting hasn't been wasted. The delay was not denial. It was divine design. The answers are beginning to form, and the first piece of that answer arrives very soon. Become a channel member to receive exclusive content made just for believers. Stand strong in your faith with a community that uplifts and inspires each other. He's coming. Not just a visitor, not just a face from the past. This person has been watched over, guided, and prepared, not by you, but by God. You weren't meant to go out and find him. You were meant to become ready to receive him. Everything that's been unfolding has been pointing to this next step. It's not just an event, it's an encounter wrapped in purpose. There is weight to this moment. It holds more than just a conversation. It carries with it meaning that reaches beyond today. This is an appointed time, something sacred, not just for closure or clarity, but for transformation. You may have thought you needed answers, but what's coming will bring more than that. It will bring a shift in the atmosphere of your heart. He's been pulled back to you not by nostalgia or regret, but by a stirring he couldn't quiet. He wrestled with the thought of forgetting you. He convinced himself that moving on was easier. But something kept echoing. Your voice, your laugh, a memory he couldn't shake. That echo was not accidental. It was God moving gently through his soul, awakening something dormant. Every attempt he made to walk away was interrupted, not by logic, not by guilt, but by a divine nudge he couldn't explain. He tried to live without your presence, but he couldn't make peace with that choice. Each time he distanced himself, he found himself circling back emotionally, spiritually, even in the quiet moments when no one was watching. No one has sent a super thanks yet. Show your belief in God and give from your heart. Your super thanks is a powerful way to support God's work and spread this message further. Now, the resistance has lifted. The wrestling is over. God has stopped his feet and turned him around. What seemed impossible just days ago is now inevitable. There is something within him that is compelled, not by pressure, but by purpose. And that purpose is what brings him to your space, not just your doorstep. He is coming with a heart that's been softened, prepared, and called. You may not recognize him at first. His posture might be unfamiliar. His energy might feel hesitant. That's okay. God is not asking you to see the version of him you once knew. He's inviting you to meet the version he's been shaping in secret. That shaping didn't happen quickly. It happened through tears, through silence, through unexpected moments of awakening. This meeting isn't about rehearsed lines or dramatic gestures. It's about something deeper, a reconnection formed through honesty and led by something higher. You don't need to perform, prepare, or predict. You only need to stay open. The openness is what will allow this moment to carry the depth it's meant to hold. Use super thanks to donate and help those in need. Your generosity can be the answer to someone's prayer. Remember, God loves a cheerful giver. Your kindness will bless others abundantly. You've prayed for signs. This is one of them. You've cried for clarity. This is a response. You've begged for something real. This is the unfolding. It may not come with fireworks, but it will come with weight, with meaning, with a quiet kind of peace that says, this is what you were waiting for, even when you didn't know it. Everything is already in motion. The steps are aligned. The time is near. You don't have to control it, understand it, or even feel fully ready for it. You only have to receive it. What's coming carries the fingerprints of God. It's been blessed before it even arrives. And when it does, all you'll need to do is breathe, listen, and let the moment become what it was meant to be.